Hi, everyone. Hope this message finds you well. And we are all getting ready for the holiday of Shavuot. It's a hard time. It's a hard time for those who have paid attention to the news, thinking of our loved ones, our brothers and sisters in the land of Israel. Certainly our prayers and our advocacy and our thoughts were with them. And when one Jew is attacked, we are all attacked, all the more so when it comes to attacking the Holy Land, when it comes to attacking the Jewish state, when it comes to attacking the largest Jewish community in the world. It's very difficult times. We need to daven. We need to do whatever we can on their behalf. We will offer these remarks in that spirit. This collective learning will be a merit, we hope, for the soldiers, for all those looking to protect the land of Israel. Talking about Shavuot, Shavuot uniquely has a special time period in which we, for instance, this morning we didn't say Tachnun. It's a special time we're preparing to receive the Torah again. The Torah does not discuss Shavuot in the context of the giving of the Torah as much as it talks about the agricultural aspect of the holiday, but certainly we know the Torah was given on this day. And one answer that I saw, parenthetically from the Alshich, is that after all, the giving of the Torah didn't go so smoothly. There was a golden calf episode and some painful punishments that came with the rollout, with the giving of the Torah. And so we focus on the preparation that went into it, the 7-week period that we readying ourselves. But certainly we know what took place. The world changed at Har Sinai on this day, the Jewish calendar. And the Gemara tells us, Amar Rabbi Elazar. Rabbi Elazar says, Hakol modim ba'atzeres debe'ina nami lachem. There's a discussion in the Gemara Psachim. When it's a Yontif, is the day for Hashem? Is that what a festival means according to the Jewish concept of a festival? Or does it mean that we should be festive? We should eat and drink and we should celebrate this day of holy convocation. There are different opinions going back and forth with regards to what should be done on Yontif. Many in our community, they wake up at sunrise and they really bifurcate the day. The first day is for Hashem. They daven, they learn. The rest of the day is for family, for socialization, for merriment. And so they take it very literally. But what Rabbi Elazar teaches us here in the Gemara, Shavuot is different. Shavuot stands alone. It is separate and distinct from the other holidays. You need to make sure on Shavuot that you have lachem. The other holidays, part of the day is going to be for Hashem, part of the day is going to be for you. According to other opinions, the whole day can be for Hashem. According to others, it's a choice. The whole day can be for Hashem, or the whole day can be for you. Lots of different opinions. But everybody agrees when it comes to Shavuot, there must be a component of eating and drinking, this kind of merriment. And the Gemara says why. The Gemara always wants to know why. What's the source for this? My taima. What's the reason as to why Shavuot is different than all the other holidays? The Gemara tells us, Yom Shenitna Bo Torahi. This is the day in which the Torah is given, and that's why it's distinct. Now, you and I would ask ourselves, if this is the holiday in which the Torah was given, and the Gemara tells us this, then this should be the one day where everything is about learning. Everything is about Hashem. Forget the merriment. If there's going to be one day which is distinct, but that's not what it says. So Rashi needs to commentary. Rashi needs to further elaborate and explain what's going on. And Rashi says, you have sheyismach, you have simcha with eating and drinking, laharos, in order to demonstrate through your actions that it's pleasant, it's accepted, that this is the day that the Jewish people received the Torah. In other words, we show that the Torah is something that we celebrate and mark the occasion, and it's pleasant, and we accept it. And somehow, in Rashi's opinion, having this celebratory meal demonstrates that we appreciate the pleasantness of Torah. And Ramosha Feinstein, Zatzal, he elaborates on this point that Rashi, in a sense, begins this discussion. And that is that our eating and drinking is representative of a very physical existence. We interact with the world around us. And the whole reason Hashem gave us the Torah is not so that we can be off in a cave somewhere and learning. It's not that we should have a anti-physical or a non-physical kind of aestheticism. Rather, we are meant to learn Torah in order to practice it. The Torah is meant to be practical in the sense that it should infuse every aspect of our daily lives. And so we eat and drink because we demonstrate that by eating and drinking, we show we're keeping kosher, we're doing the benching, saying brachos, and all of these different, and by actually doing something, as opposed to just living in the abstract, the conceptual world, the intellectual world of learning. That's exactly why everyone agrees, says Rav Moshe Feinstein, that Shavuot is a day that has to include lachem, has to include time for you, has to include the time for the human being of eating and drinking. And we demonstrate that the Torah is meant to be lived, not just meant to stay over here. You know, a lot of rabbis speak about the idea that the shul isn't where a person's Judaism is. Primarily, a person's Judaism is inside the shul and outside the shul. That Torah is meant to be a part not just of a person's synagogue life, but every aspect of life. And when Torah means that it's guiding us, it's teaching us, it's providing us with direction, it speaks to the word itself, connotation of the word Torah. And the Torah is telling us not just how to think of God. It's a kind of religion where it tells us, in terms of, informs upon our behavior and our actions. And that's why lachem, this aspect of representing certain kind of celebration, is part of our Shavuos experience. Moshe Feinstein adds that in addition to understanding that the human body needs to, in a sense, is in the world, it's of the world, and the Torah helps guide the human body and kind, suggests that we also look at the avoda, the service of Shavuos in the Beis HaMikdash. The Shavuos, during Shavuos, we bring the Shtei Alecha, this sacrifice of this bread offering, these loaves. And unlike the other grain-based offerings that include matzah, or the other offerings that include bread, matzah bread, this is lechem. Lechem comes from chametz, and he explains that the chametz reminds us about the physical world. It's a leavened product. It's a complete product. It's gashmius, as it is stated. It's about the pleasures of the world, physical pleasures. And it's there to remind us on Shavuos, and this is why it's part of the service. This bread, this chametz, the chametz represents Gashmias, and Gashmias also pertains to Torah. When we involve ourselves, as we should involve ourselves, and we're told at the end of our life, Hashem is going to ask us, did you have this fruit? Did you get benefit? I made this beautiful growth, this beautiful fruit. Were you able to taste it? And it's permissible. And we're going to be challenged. Did we go ahead and partake of the permissible pleasures of the world? So Moshe explains we need to remind ourselves, and chametz is there to remind us. We have the lechem on Shavuos, we have the Torah on Shavuos, and that represents that the gashmias, the physicality, the pleasures in the worlds, that they too need to be done in accordance with the Torah. The Torah also enhances those experiences for us and guides us in those areas as well. So we want to know what we're trying to preserve. We want to know why the state of Israel needs to exist. We want to know why we need to have a country of our own in the land of our ancestors. What are we aspiring for? What are we aspiring towards? Certainly a work in progress. We're trying to have a land in which we have this fusion. We are the people of the book. We're the people trying to create a society that's inspired and guided and ruled by Torah. We're trying to have a country with these morals, these ethics, what we received on this day in history of Shavuos. And that doesn't just mean some sort of concept of religiosity that is of the heavens. No, it's of the earth as well. And it's there the Torah is given to mankind to try to live in this world and be in this world. And we need both. We need to remind ourselves of our spiritual values, and Shavuos needs to have lachem. Not just lashem, but also lachem. We need to understand who we are, what we're trying to become, and that's where the learning comes in. But we also need to understand how it informs upon how we interact with society, how we develop as human beings. We need to have an army that protects this essence, this identity of who we are. And we need to remind ourselves regularly who we are, where we come from. And we come from Har Sinai. We come from this moment. We come from the Torah. And we are acting and we are fighting and we're supporting and we're davening and we're trying to preserve a country, in a sense, our ancestral homeland. The Jewish people are one with those in the land of Israel because we are trying to preserve something very special, something unique, something that we can be proud of. And that is what we started at Shavuot so many years ago. And we will have both, have this unbelievable ethical, moral identity, this amazing army, this military with great sacrifices of men and women. And we hope and pray that Hashem sees that we're trying to celebrate our identity, that on this holiday we get inspired to really understand who we are. That should motivate us to be stronger, to have more perseverance, to have a greater dedication, to not just survive these challenges in the land of Israel, but every challenge that comes our way. If we can strike the right balance, and on Shavuos, that's the day to understand and appreciate the great balance as was described by Rabbi Elazar. And if we can do that, and we can take Shavuos with us, we can take the message of Shavuos with us, and we can have a greater level of commitment, understand the real essence of Shavuos throughout the year. Thank you very much and have a great Shabbos.